friends, it's me again, and the camera's really high up, so it looks funny, doesn't it? And I have a new story for you. It's called Barkley and Bentley, and I wrote this in 1 week. It's about almost 5,000 words long, and I'm hoping you'll enjoy it. So let's begin. Bentley stood in the grassy field and chomped upon the grass. His companion, Barkley, rested under a nearby willow tree. "You better not eat too much grass this time, Bentley," Farmer Z called out. Farmer Z was a great older man of African-American descent. Against all the moaning and complaining from fellow ranchers, Farmer Z had taken to own an entire ranch by himself. The other ranchers were all white and owned slaves in the past. Now they have hired workers, but they get paid very little. But Farmer Z mostly relied on his spectacular animals. They seemed to have a way of communicating and working together. But Farmer Z had two favorites, Bentley the stubborn mule and Barkley the loyal golden retriever. Despite Bentley's tendency to munch down a good portion of the grass grew back rather quickly, even under the hot southwestern sun. Farmer Z had 5 sons, and all of them were grown enough and out at war. Farmer Z would have gone too, but he just wasn't physically capable enough anymore. He had a daughter, but she got ill and passed away just a few years back. Farmer Z's gorgeous, sassy wife, who was by far the prettiest around, was pregnant again, and Farmer Z was hoping for another daughter. This story isn't about the amazing Farmer Z, however. It is about his nearly unstoppable duo of Barkley and Bentley. "Barkley, keep an eye on Bentley. I'm going to the market to sell these eggs. They're the best eggs I've gotten all year, and I'd be surprised if nobody wanted them," Farmer Z said. Farmer Z carried a basket of eggs with him to a horse-drawn carriage. Some people around had cars, but not many. The dusty red roads were best traveled by carriage. As soon as Farmer Z left, Bentley lifted his long ears into the air and signaled for Barkley to approach. Barkley got up, stretched, and walked over to Bentley. "Any news?" Barkley asked. "Yeah, I predict a bank robbery will occur soon. Are you up for a ride?" Bentley asked. Barkley nodded and climbed onto a rock, and then onto the mule's back. "Please don't dig your nails into my skin," Bentley said before taking off running. Barkley balanced atop Bentley's back as they rushed down the red dirt road to a nearby town. Just as Bentley predicted, a tall man came barging out of the town bank as the alarms blared. The man wore a long black robe made from very expensive material and had a very expensive watch on his wrist, surrounded by shiny diamonds. Barkley leaped off of Bentley's back and ran at the man. Bentley followed. His large muscular legs made it easy for him to catch up with the agile dog. "Back, you mangy animals, before I turn you into trophies for my wall!" the man yelled. Barkley pounced on the man and bit him. Bentley came around the back and kicked the man in the butt. He yelped and accidentally dropped his bag of loot. Barkley grabbed the loot bags and Bentley held the criminal down until the sheriff showed up. "My, oh my, if it isn't the famous Barkley and Bentley," the sheriff said when she arrived. Barkley dropped the bag of loot at the sheriff's feet and smiled up at her. "Thank you for catching this guy. I'll be taking him now," the sheriff said. Bentley stepped off of the man and the sheriff took hold of him. "Curse you, beasts! This will not be the last you hear of the night pumper. I swear I will have your heads on my wall one day soon," the man with the expensive watch cried out as he was dragged away to jail. "Great job, Bentley," Barkley said. "You too, Barkley. I just feared that this night pumper guy might be coming back to get us one day," Bentley said. "Well, we'll just beat him again. I wonder why he is not or like Farmer Z's sons," Barkley said. "Yeah, that's kind of weird," Bentley said. It was unknown to the animals, but the night pumper had paid his way out, happened to go to war, as he had tons of money to spare. Not many people at this time had that kind of money. Barkley and Bentley returned home to the ranch before Farmer Z did. Well, Bentley, I guess you can go back to your grass munching now. I've got to go check on the sheep, Barkley said. Already on the grass munching, Bentley mumbled through a mouthful of grass. Barkley ran across the ranch, the wind streaming through his long golden hair. He reached the sheep field quickly and opened the gate. Hey, sheep, none of you wandered off again, did you? Barkley asked. Wouldn't notice if any of us did, one mumbled. Oh, yeah? Say, where's Barbara Lamb? Barkley asked. Oh, Barbara! She's missing again, the sheep said. I guess I have to find her again. This is the 20th time this week, Barkley said. You kept track? You must have nothing better to think about, the sheep said. Barkley sniffed around until he caught the scent of Barbara Lamb. Barbara, Barkley whispered. Barkley, is that you? A little voice called back. Yep, I've come to rescue you again, Barkley said. Shouldn't you be keeping an eye on Bentley? Barbara asked. Why? Barkley asked. Well, he is Farmer Z's prized mule. He's worth a fortune, Barbara said. Are you tangled in the thorns again? Barkley asked. Yeah, I was so sure I found the path to the good grass this time, Barbara said. That's what you say every time, Barkley said. He went to the other side of a large bush and found Barbara tangled up in sharp thorns. You're lucky it's my job to protect you, Barkley said. He growled as the thorns poked his muzzle while he chewed Barbara free yet again. Thank you, Barkley, Barbara said. Barkley gently led the injured lamb back to the pen with the older sheep. Barbara's back, Barkley said. Oh, thank goodness. We were afraid a coyote got her, the same sheep from before said. I'm sure the head ram wouldn't be happy about that, Barkley said. Go check on Bentley, Barbara whispered. Right, Barkley said. He exited the sheep field and closed the gate. He then ran back across the ranch. Bentley was asleep in a large patch of shortened grass. Barkley relaxed upon seeing that Bentley was all right. He couldn't imagine what he'd tell Farmer Z if Bentley was stolen. Farmer Z returned home and exited his carriage. Bentley, Barkley, I'm home, Farmer Z called out. Barkley ran to greet his master, rubbing his head affectionately on Farmer Z's hand. Was Bentley a good boy today? Farmer Z asked the golden retriever. Barkley nodded his head. He was not to ever speak a word to Farmer Z outside of barks and other normal dog noises. Farmer Z patted Barkley's head and threw him a treat. Barkley wagged his tail happily and ate his treat. The night came and went, and Barkley was awakened by Bentley. Barkley, Farmer Z has gone to the market again. Also, something big is about to happen, Bentley said. What? Barkley asked. You know that slightly newer railroad not far from here? Bentley asked. Oh yeah, what about it? Barkley asked. Someone has sabotaged it, and it is about to go rogue any moment now. Get on my back, Bentley said. All right, Barkley said. He climbed onto the back of the mule, and the two took off super fast down the red dirt road again. I hope we aren't too late, Barkley said. Bentley skidded to a halt, and Barkley went flying off his back. With his quick thinking, he twisted and landed upright. You should get a reward for the furthest toss, Barkley said as he returned to his friend. Barkley, the train has left the station already. We have to find it, Bentley said. Great, I'll track it quicker than a bloodhound, Barkley said. He stuck his nose on the metal tracks and took a good whiff. Northbound, Barkley reported. Get back on my back, Bentley said. Barkley climbed on and the two followed the tracks northwards. Look, the train! It's wobbling, Bentley cried out as soon as they got close. There are humans in that train. Barkley cried out. I'll try to stop the train. You open it and get the humans to safety, Bentley said. Right, Barkley said. Barkley leaped off of Bentley's back and grabbed the door handle with his mouth. He used his weight to open the door and entered the passenger cabinet. Look, Mommy, a doggy! A little kid cried out. Oh, how cute! The mother said. Barkley whined. The train rattled violently as it popped off the tracks. Barkley ran to each person to help them before they could fall, but that was only one part of the train. He whined more as he heard the other passengers scream. The train jerked backwards as though a heavy mass hit it head-on. That heavy mass was Bentley. Bentley was trying to hold back the train, but it was still pushing him along. His hoofs caused sparks to fly up. Ha ha ha! No matter how hard you try, you cannot stop the great night pumper! A familiar voice cried out. Barkley exited the train and climbed the ladder to the roof of the train. The night pumper was on the roof of the train. You! But we put you in jail yesterday! Barkley cried out. In his anger, Barkley forgot he wasn't supposed to speak to humans. You can talk! Night Pumper cried out. Barkley realized the mistake he made. Barkley, the train won't stop! Bentley cried out. He rammed his thick head into the train again, causing it to jerk backwards again. You'll never stop the train and catch me! Night Pumper cried out. He did a backflip off the moving train and somehow didn't get severely injured. Barkley ran across the top of the train to see how Bentley was. Barkley! Bentley moaned as he rammed into the train again. The train came to an abrupt stop. Barkley jumped off the train and went to help the passengers get off. Luckily, most of the passengers survived. A few had died from the rough collisions. In his hurry to help the passengers, Barkley forgot to check on Bentley. Mommy, I think the doggy saved our lives, the same little kid cried out. Wow, the mother said. Barkley licked the kid's face and ran off to help everyone else. The sheriff came around along with the other emergency personnel. Bentley, some people died today, Barkley said, exiting the train and walking to the engine. Bentley wasn't even there. Bentley! Barkley cried out. He frantically searched around for his missing friend, but there was no sign of the mule. He checked under the wheels, checked around the sides of the train. He even checked the nearby fields. Bentley was missing. Bentley! Barkley cried out again. The night pumper was also missing, and this made Barkley very concerned. It was getting dark, and Barkley knew Farmer Z was probably home already. The sad golden retriever ran home to his ranch without his companion Bentley. Farmer Z was sitting in his rocking chair when Barkley returned. Hey, Barkley, I've been calling for you. What got you out so late? A lady dog? Farmer Z asked with a chuckle. Barkley came and sat by Farmer Z as the last of the sunlight started to fall beyond the horizon. So, how was Bentley today? Farmer Z asked. Barkley whimpered. Was he naughty? Don't tell me he kicked you, Farmer Z said. Barkley shook his head. Where is Bentley? Farmer Z asked. Barkley sat there looking sad, but Farmer Z couldn't see it. I'm sure he's out there in the field munching away. It's too dark to tell, Farmer Z said. He got up from his chair and stretched his tired back. Barkley watched as Farmer Z entered the old ranch house. Barkley returned to his willow tree. The next morning, Farmer Z was the one who woke Barkley up. Barkley, where is Bentley? Farmer Z asked. Barkley was startled at first, but then remembered that Bentley had gone missing after the train incident. He made puppy eyes at Farmer Z. He's been stolen? Farmer Z asked. Barkley didn't know what else to say, as he couldn't just admit that Bentley stopped a train and vanished. So he nodded his head. We've got to do something. He's only half trained. There's no telling what things a person could train him to do, Farmer Z said. Barkley nodded his head and shuddered at the thought. What kind of evil deeds could Bentley possibly do under someone else's control? Farmer Z paced nervously, and Barkley followed him around and around. Farmer Z stopped, and Barkley stopped promptly at his side. Barkley, I don't want to have to do this to you. I have to send you out to find Bentley. No matter how far and wide you must travel, Farmer Z said. Barkley was tempted to say something, but he just let his mouth hang open for a bit before closing it. He nodded his head. And I'll keep an eye out for you. Shouldn't be hard. You're the only pointy-eared golden retriever around, Farmer Z said. Barkley never thought about how weird it was to have such pointy ears for his breed. He never really was around other golden retrievers, aside from his siblings, who were sold long ago and probably didn't lead quite as great of lives as he did. They had pointy ears too, or at least Barkley thought they did. Barkley licked Farmer Z's hand goodbye before running off down the dusty red road. Barkley ran for a while, but eventually grew tired and stopped by an old tree. "Ah, Bentley, where are you?" Barkley cried. Of course, there was no reply. "I can't seem to do anything without Bentley. Can't find my way. How will I ever find my way home again?" Barkley asked himself. He sat there sadly, staring at his dirty paws. "You seek answers?" a voice called out. Barkley was startled and got to his feet, looking for who it was that spoke. A sleek black lab appeared out of nowhere and sat next to Barkley. He stared at her and his heart raced. "So, I may offer some help," the black lab said. Yes, please," Barkley said. "I know about the train incident. I saw everything. How you and your buddy stopped that train," the black lab said. "Where is Bentley?" Barkley asked. "Last I heard of the Mule, Night Pumper had him," the black lab said. "Oh, of course, I should have suspected that," Barkley said. "Thanks. What is your name?" "Sadie," the black lab replied. "Sadie, okay," Barkley said. He got up and tried to escape from Sadie as quickly as possible. "Oh, no, do not go that way," Sadie cried out. "Huh?" Barkley asked, halting. "There's a trap that way. I should know. I said it." "Follow me," Sadie said. Barkley's heart skipped a beat as he heard Sadie say this. She teasingly swished her tail at him, and he followed eagerly behind her. "You're Barkley, aren't you?" Sadie asked while leading Barkley. Yes, I am," Barkley said. "The super golden retriever with inexplicably pointy ears," Sadie said. "Oh, I wouldn't say super. Bentley does most of the work," Barkley said. "If you insist," Sadie said. The two reached an older town than the one with the bank Barkley and Bentley had saved previously. "I know Night Pumper well. He was the owner of my ex-boyfriend," Sadie said. "Ex-boyfriend?" Barkley asked. "Ah, a mighty fine husky. His name was Killer," Sadie said. "What happened to him?" Barkley asked. Sadie turned and stared Barkley in the eyes, making him nervous. "I did not speak of what happened to Killer," Sadie barked. "I'm sorry," Barkley apologized. Sadie kept on leading until she reached a huge mansion with fancy water fountains and statues of Night Pumper. The windows were stained glass, mostly maroon, and the walls were pitch black like Sadie. Despite cars being uncommon in the area, there were 4 parked outside the mansion. "Night Pumper's mansion. Enter if you dare," Sadie said in a creepy voice. "You're not coming with me?" Barkley asked. "Nope, I can't," Sadie said. Barkley disappointedly started climbing the stairs to the entrance. He turned and faced Sadie. "Thanks again, Sadie," Barkley said. "You're welcome, golden boy," Sadie said, swishing her tail and running off. Barkley pawed at the door. It opened. When he stepped inside, he saw tons of furs, dead animal statues, and mounted heads. The place smelled heavily of alcohol and floor polish. The floors were so shiny that Barkley could see his reflection. "All right, Night Pumper, come out from wherever you are," Barkley barked. Night Pumper made an appearance and came down the spiral staircase. "Ah, if it isn't one of my most hated enemies," Night Pumper said, grinning evilly. "Have you come to be a trophy for 1940's richest man?" Barkley growled. Oh, but I do figure you want more than just a sweet release of death," Night Pumper said. "Tell me where Bentley is," Barkley demanded. "Bentley, of all the things you could ask for, you asked for the stubborn mule?" Night Pumper asked. "Tell me now or else," Barkley snarled. "Your best friend? You'll never see him again. He's gone for good," Night Pumper said. Barkley ran forward and bit Night Pumper's arm really hard. "Ouch, ouch, ouch, stop, I'll tell," Night Pumper said. Barkley let go, only to get slapped really hard by Night Pumper. "I figured I could go for another new watch, and I didn't feel like spending my own money. So I sold the mule," Night Pumper said. "Look, this new watch displays the time in 3 different ways." "Where is Bentley?" Barkley yelled. "In Germany. I sold him to the Nazis," Night Pumper said proudly. "Oh, shoot! Will I ever... Farmer Z's sons are near there," Barkley said. "Now get off my property before I mount your head on my wall," Night Pumper yelled. Barkley took off running. "Bentley! I'm going to rescue you!" "Man, I hope it isn't too late," Barkley said. "Barkley!" a voice called out. Barkley screeched to a halt as Sadie came up next to him. "Did you get Bentley back?" Sadie asked. "Does it look like I did?" "No," Barkley said. He was panting. "Where is he then?" Sadie asked. She pressed herself against him to comfort him. But that just made his heart race faster. "Germany! The Nazis have him!" Barkley cried out. "Oh, Germany! I've been there before. I had an ex-boyfriend there," Sadie said. "And what was he like?" Barkley asked. "Adorable, sweet, very, very loving," Sadie said. "What breed?" Barkley asked. "Corgi," Sadie said. "Really? And what happened to him?" Barkley asked. "I won't tell you. Same as Killer. I did not tell him what happened to my ex-boyfriends," Sadie said. "Besides, Corndoodle was a bit too clingy." "Corndoodle? Ha! What a name!" Barkley said. "Yeah, anyways, I know a quick way to Germany," Sadie said. "Take me, please, Sadie!" Barkley said, his tail wagging rapidly. "Be quick, follow me," Sadie said. She took off running, leaping over any obstacles in her way. Barkley followed with nearly as much skill as her. "You're fast!" Barkley cried out as he ran along behind her. "I've had plenty of training," Sadie said. Eventually, the 2 dogs reached an airport where tons of uniformed men were boarding a plane. "We're in luck. That troop appears to be heading to Germany," Sadie said. "How can you tell?" Barkley asked. "I just know it. Now shut up before they find out we are talking dogs," Sadie said. Sadie and Barkley silently snuck aboard the plane and hid under seats just before the door closed. The leader of the troop rattled off long descriptive plans on what each member was to do upon reaching Germany. Along with the men was a stack of boxes with food supplies and ammo for weapons. The whole trip, Barkley and Sadie had to make sure they weren't seen. Barkley's mind was racing with thoughts about Bentley. Lost, scared, trapped, tormented maybe. Sadie remained calm the whole time. Eventually, the plane landed in Germany, and as soon as the door came open, Barkley and Sadie went running down the stairs. They ran all the way to a city. "So, now how do we find Bentley?" Barkley asked. He was the big brown mule with bunny ears and crazy wild black hair and blue eyes, right? Sadie asked. Yeah. Why? Barkley asked. Sadie ran up to a convenient poster, tore it down with her mouth, and ran to show Barkley. That's him! Wait, how long were we on the plane if they had time to make posters of him with their mules? Barkley asked. Too long. There's some German writing on this poster. I can only make out a little. War mules, Sadie said. Darn! We must get Bentley out of that situation, Barkley said. Stop yapping and sniff the poster. The person in charge of the posters must have left their scent on it, Sadie said. Why me? Barkley asked. It's your friend. And I'll keep an eye out for you. Make sure no bomber planes drop or any Nazis show up, Sadie said. Barkley sniffed the poster Sadie was holding. Yuck! This poster stinks! Barkley said. Find Bentley, Sadie commanded. Yep, picking up a scent trail, Barkley said. Barkley led the way this time, and Sadie followed. The dogs walked for miles upon miles through Germany, following the scent trail from the provided poster. The scent grew stronger and more foul the closer they got, until they reached a large building with no label. He must be in there, Barkley said. Keep quiet. I'm looking for a way in, Sadie said. She scanned the outer wall and motioned for Barkley to follow. There were some guards around the building holding rifles, but none of them seemed to notice the dogs climbing into the air vent. Stinks, Barkley mumbled. Not quite as bad as one of my ex-boyfriends from Russia. He was a real stinker, Sadie said. Let me guess, you won't tell me what happened to him? Barkley asked. Of course not. It's a secret, Sadie said. Barkley and Sadie dropped into a room and hid behind some boxes. Both dogs peered around the boxes to see what was going on. At least 20 mules were lined up. They were all gray, though. Some appeared to be just painted gray. They all had the same large bunny ears as Bentley, and they were each branded with the foul Nazi symbol. In the ears of each were combinations of zeros and ones. There was, however, one mule who stood apart from the others and caught Barkley's attention. The centermost mule wore 2 casts on his front legs, and his hooves were all chipped up. The others had smooth, polished hooves. There he is, Barkley said. Sadie slapped him for speaking, just as a group of men entered the room. There was a tall man of about 7 feet tall who had short blonde hair and soulless blue eyes. Walking at his side was an average-sized man with dark brown hair and a very small mustache directly in the center of under his nose. Both these men and the men with rifles who followed were stinky, and Barkley cringed. The giant and the mustached man began speaking in German. They speak German. I'll translate, Sadie whispered. Barkley nodded. The one with the poop mustache says, Soon, very soon, any who are not like us, not like you, shall be exterminated, Sadie said. Sadie continued to translate as much of the conversation as she could. Why the filthy beast, Adolf? Volandi asked. These filthy beasts are clean in comparison to the impurities they are be trained to kill, Adolf responded. If they are to kill, they need to kill now, Blondie said. Gun holders, tell the mules their orders, Adolf commanded. Barkley flinched as Sadie translated that. The riflemen shouted orders at the mules, and they all stomped and brayed in agreement, having been brainwashed previously. Bentley, however, took it a step further. Yes, master, Bentley blurted out in English. Adolf began having a tantrum, and the blond man tried to calm him. It speaks! What does it say? Adolf asked. It speaks English, Adolf, the blond man said. Make it speak German! Make it speak German, Stalin! Adolf cried out, grabbing the blond man and shaking him. Adolf, save your anger for the impurities, Stalin said, breaking free from Adolf's grasp. I wasn't expecting this! Adolf cried out. Bentley stared emotionlessly at the 2 men. In fact, his face was the same as all the other mules. He showed no difference, no uniqueness. Barkley could not stand it any longer. He couldn't bear to see his friend behave so oddly. "Bentley!" Barkley cried out, running out from his hiding place towards Bentley. Sadie was disappointed in Barkley, but could do nothing to stop him. Adolf yelled something in German to Stalin, but Sadie was no longer translating. Barkley reached Bentley just as Stalin stole a rifle and shot Bentley in the head. Bentley didn't die and wasn't injured. The bullet hit and clinked to the ground without leaving a mark. "How dare you shoot my best friend!" Barkley cried out. He bit Adolf's butt. Adolf cried in pain and Stalin panicked and fled the building to avoid getting attacked by the angry dogs. The mules continued standing there and Barkley felt sorry for them, but he mostly cared for his own precious mule. He inspected his painted gray friend. He took note of the zeros and ones in his ear and the branding on his flank. "Bentley, you are my lost lamb trapped in the thorns, but this time the thorns may be too much for me to free you from," Barkley said. "Bentley? Who is Bentley?" Bentley asked. Barkley was stunned into silence. Sadie emerged from her hiding place to watch. You are Bentley the mule, my best friend, the one I was to protect with my life, the one who can stop a train with just his head, prized mule and favorite animal of Farmer Z, and you will never, ever be unimportant to me," Barkley said. Bentley showed little emotion, but he spoke anyways. "I want to be Bentley." "Come with me, Bentley. Let's go home," Barkley said. Adolf was still fussing in German, so the two dogs and the confused mule exited the building. "Hopefully there's a plane ready for us," Sadie said. "Yeah," Barkley said. Bentley had trouble keeping up with his legs in casts. Barkley slowed and walked right alongside him. "You are strong, Bentley. Keep being strong," Barkley said. When the group arrived, there was a plane loading up empty crates to refill them back in America. "That's convenient," Sadie said. "Just a little further, Bentley. Then we can all rest," Barkley said. Barkley was pleased to have his old friend back. When they finally boarded, they found safe spots to lay where the men packing the boxes aboard wouldn't see them. "That's the last box," the packer called out. "Then I will prepare for takeoff. We're headed back to the southwest," the pilot said. "I had an ex-boyfriend named Southwest," Sadie whispered. "And then what happened?" Barkley asked. "I do not speak of what happened to my ex-boyfriends!" Sadie cried out. Bentley stared emotionlessly at the wall boxes. The door to the plane closed and the engines roared loudly. With a jerk, the plane began flying. The pilot had no need to speak on the plane intercom because he had no idea he had passengers. He didn't tell of his plans to fly past the North Pole before heading to the southwest. Hours passed with no interruptions, but then the plane jerked and jiggled as alarms blared. The frightened pilot began reporting to the airport that his plane was about to go down. Right engine lost! Right engine lost! I think the Germans caught me!" the pilot yelled into the microphone. The animal passengers were frightened too. Even Bentley knew something wasn't right. The plane lurched again and started plummeting. "Both engines lost! I'm going down!" the pilot cried out. The plane drove faster and faster until it submerged into icy water. There was no return to the southwest. No return party for the brave heroes. Farmer Z would never see his loyal pointy-eared golden retriever or bunny-eared mule return. They were all lost in the icy sea. The plane their coffin. The end. So, I hope you have enjoyed this story, and it hopefully wasn't too boring or too weird. Well, it's supposed to be weird because, it's written by me. But anyways, if you have liked this video, give me a thumbs up, and remember to subscribe to the channel because there's going to be more videos coming. Bye!